Alright, so basically I decided to bring in some Ezreal gameplay because I wanted to try out the new Kleptomancy build. Before we get into the rest of the video, understand that I'm not trying to hide that my score is shitty. Like, I couldn't care less, dude. I fucking suck at Ezreal right now because I haven't played him in so long. And also, he's just kind of like a weirder ADC to me. Not used to kind of playing like this more skill shot heavy ADC, so because he's just kind of a weird guy. Like he doesn't auto attack too much, and he kind of like autos in between like Qs, and he has a very like. I mean, his kit's very good. It's just very different compared to everybody else. So I'm just not too used to it. So before you like start raging in the comments about my gameplay, it's this the whole point of this video is not for the gameplay. Basically, I wanted to talk about why I think Kleptomancy Ezreal really isn't that good, and why basically he really only saved a champion that was probably destined to never really fit into a meta again without some nerf or buffs. So basically, the way Ezreal works, and the way if you want him to like have enough damage late game to compete with the other ADCs, you really need to get a Tear of the Goddess and start stacking a Manamune. The problem with that is with accelerated builds and everything nowadays, and people usually backing for BF or a Zeal power spike. Ezreal doesn't really fit this kind of mold. Zeal and BF early in the game on him is not really that good. Even then, like a Bork first item is definitely not where you want to go. Like he definitely would want to go like Triforce or something like that. But basically what I'm trying to say is that even like Triforce rushing is not going to have as much strength compared to rushing like an Infinity Edge first item, and they're around the same gold. So Kleptomancy makes it so that even though he's going items that basically don't really have much longevity in terms of being able to do duels in bot lane around like 8-10 minutes with BF swords and power spikes with Zeal. He's kind of a champion that's kind of rolled into this whole like if he can farm to late game, he's gonna win. But if he doesn't get to late game, he's kind of useless, and he never really had anything to accelerate him to late game because like just the way his DPS works, it's like even if Vayne is a hyper carry and some of the other ADCs like are hyper carries as well, they have ways of still doing damage and being able to duel. Vayne with her invincibility and like attack buffs with her spells, like those kind of things can get her to late game. But Ezreal didn't really have that for the longest time. That's why he probably wasn't played as much. So basically what I'm trying to say is that Kleptomancy gets you out of the early game, which is so detrimental to trying to do well with Ezreal. And I also don't even think that like when he gets to his late game build, he's even that strong. So I really wouldn't argue that he's that OP at the moment. But what I would like to say is the advantages to playing Ezreal is that if you're a really good farmer, like it really shows on Ezreal, like because you can ult different lanes, you can Q waves and go really fast. If you're losing lane, you can just Mystic Shot CS, so you don't have to die for CS because you're just so like you're so weak in the early games. So having that in his kit is really nice. So basically, if you're looking for someone and you have like a team that's fairly strong early game, and you don't think you'll have a problem in the early game, or let's say like you have a jungler that's like on in your party or whatever, having a jungler on your side as an Ezreal is really good because it can help you get to that late game fantasy. Or if you're getting dove on constantly, like this one game I had a really bad score because the Warwick was camping the shit out of me early game, which is what you have to do. Like if you're playing against Kleptomancy Ezreal, like you need your jungler or your support to go just super fucking ape shit on you or on the Ezreal, because if he can't get into late game, like there's literally nothing he can do. So my finishing thoughts are that Ezreal is not really broken. Honestly, Kleptomancy just gets him back to the power spike that he's always had. He's always had a pretty strong late game with a lot of range. I think it's fair compared to Nasus and Gangplank, who are, yes, they are both also strong at late game, but what makes Nasus like balanced is that he doesn't get there that early. So Ezreal's fine because he always lost lane, and this gives him kind of a fighting chance. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and go try it out for yourselves.